Yo, what's going on, guys? So today I got another deck profile for you guys. This is gonna be my Kentaurosmon yellow build. So this is something I've been working on the past couple of days, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. There are a couple of things I'll probably change just through testing, things I don't like. But yeah, so made this based on, or at least like the new cards that came out of Union Impact that were revealed a little while ago. We got Kentaurosmon here, and then we of course got Mastamon, Shakuamon as well. I'll kind of just go over like why I chose some of these cards, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. I'll start with the rookies here. So I do like typically playing higher rookie counts in my Digimon builds, just because I think they're a really good way to make your deck consistent and just give you a constant draw engine every turn. So Patamon's great. His effect isn't too good in this deck. It's better in like Shine Greymon builds when you're playing like 8 plus Tamers. It's alright in this build, but just another rookie. And then if you want to take your chance and like play him straight from your hand, you can reveal the top 4 and add a yellow Tamer, or actually all yellow Tamers from those cards to your hand. But yeah, pretty solid overall. Next to Salamon, its effect doesn't really come up that often. I almost never just have it out on the field. It's just another yellow rookie. Yeah, not much to say there. Probably the best rookie I'm playing is Tinkermon. One, because 3 cost, similar to Patamon, not too expensive if you do want to play straight from your hand, but also because she works so well with Petermon. And I'll get to that card in a second. But yeah, so just 4 of her. You want to basically max out on any of these rookies, and then just one more rookie. I typically like to have 12 or more, so I just added another one because I felt like I wanted an extra. So just one Kudamon. His attack's alright, or his effect's alright, but it doesn't really ever come up. So, anyways, moving on to the champions. Now, there are a couple things I would change here. I probably would not play Angemon. He's okay. I mainly like him for his inheritable effect, where if you have 4 more security, you can get +1 memory. So that works really well with Seraphimon and Magna Angemon. A lot of times, you can get plus recovery +1 from them, and then you'll typically have pretty high security, so you can usually resolve his effect. So it's not bad in that sense. But yeah, it's there's just not too many good yellow champions, I feel like, currently at least. We are getting Ankylomon soon, so maybe that might be something to incorporate. You could also opt to play Caesarmon if you wanted like a jamming option instead of him. But yeah, he's just like the least essential of the champions. Still pretty okay. Of course, we got the blocker. Gotta play Unimon. So far, the only yellow blocker to my knowledge. But yeah, that's basically why you play him. Just good at stalling out, especially in this deck. This is a more defensive build. You do want to prolong the game and prevent your opponent from taking all of your security cards. So Unimon's really good for that. And then, of course, we got Petermon, probably one of my favorites in the deck, just because he works so well with Tinkermon. Basically, when you play him, you can play a Tinkermon for free from your hand or your trash. So the trash part is also just like really good. We don't have a lot of cards that can recover from the graveyard from the trash. But you would think you don't want to like put down a champion for 5 all the time. But sometimes, especially if you don't run into like a rookie opening turn, you can go with that play and just get 2 Digimon on the field immediately. So we'll come back to the Tamer cards in a second. And then as far as the ultimates go, 3 Magna Angemon, honestly, I kind of want to bump him up to 4. He's just such a good utility card. His one plate effect is amazing. Recovery +1. And for a 7 cost, that's like, it is a lot. But a lot of times it can just prevent you from losing. And then it can set up for your plays with Kentaurosmon and Seraphimon so well. You usually don't want to like Digivolve on top, like using a champion with him. But sometimes it comes up. But yeah, I might play 4 of him. I was playing 4 Shakuamon just to test it out. It's one of the newer cards. He's not too good in yellow. He's better in blue because his effect where, well, for one, he's treated as a blue Digimon, right? So you can, there's synergy with that. But the main thing is that he has an effect where all of your opponent's Digimon without Digivolution sources get security attack -1, which is a great effect. The problem is in this deck, you kind of just have to like rely on your opponent to like, okay, let's say they play a monster straight from their hand, that's great. Um, but in blue, you can actually control the Digivolution sources. There's a lot of cards in blue that discard Digivolution sources from your opponent's Digimon. So I just feel like this is a lot better option for blue. Like I said, I wanted to test it out. It wasn't bad. Just another 3-cost ultimate. Not much to say there. But yeah, you could definitely swap that out for something else. Definitely the best ultimate in this deck is Sirenmon. I totally underestimated this card. While Magna Angemon is fantastic, the fact that for one, it's a 2 evolution cost, which is like very rare for these higher level Digimon. But also it's a 5 cost to play straight from your hand, and you might not think that will arise. Like you might not think that might happen that often. But at least when I was testing it out, I summoned Sirenmon straight from my hand quite a bit, especially because there are times where you go through all your rookies, or like, I mean, I'm playing 10 megas, so you might open a couple of megas and you just want to get one straight onto the field without paying like a 12 cost. You can just play him and then immediately digivolve afterwards. But yeah, so good just for the fact that it's a low cost. Like, it's great. All right, and then as far as the megas go, Kentaurosmon, that's the heart and soul of this deck. He has such a unique ability where like it doesn't necessarily generate you advantage when he's digivolved, but you get to take 5 of your opponent's Digimon, up to 5, right? Which is oftentimes most of their field when you're dropping him. And then they get security attack -2 until the end of their next turn. So basically, you can just prevent your opponent from attacking for an entire turn, which is really, really good. You'll if you end up watching the gameplay video I posted about Kentaurosmon, like you'll see that there were times where I was about to lose and I just prolonged the game and then recovered afterwards with things like Seraphimon, Magna Angemon, and was just able to get back into the game because Kentaurosmon like gives you another turn. And it's just such a good utility card. 3 cost 11,000. Like there's so many good things about this card. And then on top of that, if your opponent does get rid of him, you get to take 11,000 off of one of their Digimon's DP, which is enough to usually kill most megas, right? A lot of megas are 10, 11,000. Like sometimes they'll be a little bit more. You know, you're not going to get into level 7 territory with that. But a lot of times, if they're rested, and like they'll attack him if he's rested, and then they'll be rested, and the next turn you can get rid of them. But yeah, just such a great card. Probably one of my favorite megas just in the entire game is Seraphimon. 3 cost, you get recovery +1, and most of the times you will get security attack +1 because, like I said, there's just so many ways to recover and prolong the game to where your opponent will have a hard time like getting rid of your security cards. You will almost always have security attack +1, so it's just an offensive option for this otherwise defensive deck. Like usually you'll set up the turns with Magna Angemon, your low cost like Sirenmon, and then maybe stall them out with Kentaurosmon, and then when you drop Seraphimon, you're ready to like do some damage. He's just so great. And the last card here, we got Mastamon. This is an interesting card. It works pretty well in this deck. I haven't tested it in purple, but it works pretty well in yellow. Because you are able to get so many recovery +1s, and like discarding one from your security isn't the most detrimental thing, even if you don't have security +1, or sorry, recovery +1. A lot of times if you do get Kentaurosmon, like, yeah, I lost a security card, but then you're not going to be able to attack next turn, and then I'll be able to attack and get rid of more of yours. So that's kind of the mentality with this. I only played 2, because it was a 4 cost. It's kind of pricey, but I think it's worth it. You can definitely run it in different proportions if you want. But yeah, 2 Mastamon, pretty solid card. And then the last card I got here, the only non-Digimon card in this deck is for TK. I just think this is such a good generic search card. You get to, well, for one, you'll get the effect where if your memory is 2 or less, it becomes 3, right? That's always solid. It pays itself back over the course of a couple of turns. But then you get recovery +1 if you add a yellow card from your security, which you, like, I mean, everything in this deck is yellow, right? So yeah, it just gets to set up for your following turns, and just a solid card overall. You could probably cut a couple of these if you wanted to. I just like TK a lot. But yeah, like I said, the option is yours. You guys could play things like Seven Heavens or Eden's Javelin, or just like any other generic cards you wanted to. And then the last cards over here are the Digi Eggs, just 4 Cupimon. Like I said, a lot of times you will have pretty high security, so this effect is pretty good when you do. And then just 1 Yaramon. Some people are a fan of just like playing 4 of like the best egg, so you'll like guaranteed get it whenever you like flip one over for your raising phase. But I just like having a 5th one. You know, sometimes games go long, especially with this deck. Sometimes you're like prolonging the game a lot. So having a 5th egg is nice, and Yaramon's effect isn't like too bad, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for this deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, thanks for watching, and look forward to more Digimon content.